Welcome back. I'm Dr. Rob Malillo. I'm joined by my wife, Carolyn, and by Brett Wolven. Brett's daughter, Anison, has had some issues with digestion and healthcare issues, and turns out was causing her to struggle academically as well. So why don't you tell us about Anison, first of all, when you first became aware of it and what her main issues were?
Anison had several issues with digestion and different female problems, urinary tract infection, kidney infections, through the ages of like 1, 2, 2.5. Multiple different doctors ended up leading to surgery in regards to that, as far as digestion goes.
So it's first started out as more chronic healthcare issues.
Yes.
And then later on, you found that she had some struggles with school as well.
Yes, when she made it to first grade, it became evident that there were some problems with her reading comprehension. Math whiz, but definitely had problems taking the written word and acknowledging what it meant.
So she had this unevenness of skills that we typically see.
Yeah.
And now you've been to many, many doctors with her. Had anybody ever suggested some kind of dietary change?
Through all the programs and processes, there wasn't a single professional that actually suggested changing Anison's diet in any way, to be honest with you.
So when you became aware of what we were doing in my work, Brain Balance, how did you become aware of that?
Through a business networking organization. I met one of the woman who worked at the center, and weekly she was telling success stories of the different children going through the center. And I became interested in it, with everything going on with Anison. It just kind of seemed like a different approach.
Right.
So, convinced the wife to give it a shot.
Okay, great. So once you started that, one of the things that they did was obviously put her on a special diet and eliminate certain foods. And
Yes.
you saw positive changes right away, right?
Fairly quickly. I mean, the immediate reaction was quite significant. The week-to-week change was something that was really surprising. We didn't expect to see such significant changes week to week as we did over such a short period of time.
And what were the changes that you were seeing?
Right off the bat, the digestive issues, the lingering digestive issues kind of began to fall away. She was quite emotional. She had tendencies to go off emotional tangents at times, get quite dramatic. That became less. For lack of a better phrase, she was quite clumsy. And she began right off the bat to get some better control over her own body.
Wow.
For being tall for her age, it was one of those things that just kind of, you saw it just over week by week.
And did you see changes in her academics?
She went through the program over the course of the summer, so
Right.
we could eliminate the problem of conflict with school. But if I went from first grade, November first grade year, she was B, C student, really struggling with comprehension. She's in second grade now. It's actually why she couldn't join us today. She's in school. But second grade year, same month, A, B student, strong, still a math whiz.
Fantastic.
But everything seems to have jumped at least 3 grade levels.
Wow.
And her reading levels, where she was several levels behind, because they work everything in reading levels, she actually is up to the point where she's 2 levels above her grade level.
That's fantastic.
That's huge. That's actually like a 4 or 5 year change in
overall.
a matter of a few months. How many months was Anison in the program?
Anison was in the 12-week program, so it was 3 months.
So only 3 months. Wow. Because really the majority of our kids go through more 6 months, but that's absolutely incredible changes. And how did she do with the dietary changes? Was she okay with that?
I think any family, whenever you try to change a diet, it's something that's fairly significant in the family. But the whole family got involved in it.
That's
We
great.
have
That's
a
so
younger daughter
important.
too, so it was my
So
younger
everybody
daughter
did
was
it
eating.
together.
Yep.
That's
It
so
kinda
important not to
pulled
single
all
them
things
out.
together. And there were some things that didn't make it back to the table. It's just you find that one thing that really, because as through the program, when you're reintroducing the problem items, there were a couple things that really kind of tripped her off. So it's obviously we're not going to reintroduce those or bring them back into the house anymore.
But you did find that it was doable and it was challenging, but you could do it, and you recommend that to other families and parents.
Honestly, I think in any parents, especially when you're raising more than one child, any change is going to be a challenge to any family out there. But change is where growth happens.
Beautiful.
Well, we want to thank you very much for being with us today and telling us the story about Anison. Be inspirational. We want to also be able to go, because when we come back, we want you to stay with us, because coming up next, Carolyn and I will show you some foods that you may want to keep out of your child's lunchbox and others that you might want to stock up on. And we'll be right back, and we'll see you right after the break. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Welcome back to the Dr. Rob Show. I'm Dr. Rob Malillo. Joining me is my beautiful wife, Carolyn, and also our friend, Amelia. As we just talked about in our last segment with Aniston's father, Brett, a child's diet is a huge part of his or her life. So we are here to break down some good versus bad digestion foods. When we really talk about digestion issues, what we're talking about, something that's very common in special needs community, is what we call leaky gut, where they have problem breaking down certain proteins. The most common ones are gluten and casein. Gluten is from wheat, barley, and rye, and casein is from dairy products.
And do they have a problem because that part of their brain is understimulated? Is that why it connects to the gut and it doesn't absorb food easily?
Yeah, that's part of it. And again, in future episodes, we're going to go through why it's so much prevalent, why food sensitivities are so much more prevalent in this community than in typical children.
Sure, sure.
But there is a difference. Most people don't understand the difference between allergies and food sensitivities.
Right, I think people think they're the same thing. So
Right.
what is the difference between an allergy and a food sensitivity, which is much more prevalent in children with special needs?
Yeah, what we find is that the children that we work with, basically 10% or less than 10% actually have food allergies like peanut or what you traditionally look at as food allergies. But 85% or more have food sensitivities, and gluten and dairy are the most, and casein are the most common ones. So
All right.
what we, in the future also, what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about how to test for these, but right off the bat, a lot of parents don't even want to do
No
things.
problem, no
A
problem.
lot of parents don't even want to
now.
try it because they're so afraid that they're not going to be able to do it, because the modern diet, the American diet, is almost all
Okay, babe.
wheat
Wait,
and dairy.
let's let her taste this
Okay.
dairy-free yogurt. She has been so good. You taste that and you tell me how you like it. Let's see, Amelia is the best taster in the world.
Absolutely. Bottom line comes to whether they're going to actually eat it or not, or whether they like
How do you like that? Yeah. No.
it. Doesn't
Okay,
taste good?
no problem.
Let's try
Let's
another
go.
one. Here, try this one. Let's try this one. Ready? Try this. Ready? Here we go. Try that one.
Oh, she's so daring.
Is that good?
Oh, I don't know. I think you like that.
Well, the good thing
Yeah,
is we have
you know what?
different options.
We have different
and so
options.
what we're showing here is that this is actually soy yogurt, this is actually almond yogurt, and this is actually coconut milk yogurt. So a lot of parents, yogurt is the main thing that they give to their children. They like to bring it to school, put it in their snacks. And so there are different options out there. And Carol and I just went to Whole Foods yesterday, and we had fun, actually.
Strawberry before.
But maybe they have strawberry, and I'm sure they have strawberry.
They do have strawberry. They
Right.
have all different flavors and all different tastes. But what we see is that same thing with milk. We have soy milk, we have almond milk, we have rice milk, we have coconut milk. For cream cheese, we have different veggie cream cheese and soy cream cheese. We have butter substitutes, and there's all different cheeses. So in the dairy end of it, we have a lot of different things covered, and we also have the gluten issues.
And we also have gluten-free
Good.
Oreos. Oh,
That obviously
ooh, what
she
did
likes.
she say?
see?
She said, mmm. And what about, do you like rice? This is delicious. Gluten-free, rice-free rice cakes, just like your mom used to make with a marshmallow. You want to try that?
Oh, she's
Oh,
once
it's
you gave
hard
her
to-
once you gave her the Oreo, she's Cookie Monster.
But
Are
there
you
are
Cookie
options.
Monster?
Instead of giving
Okay.
your children cookies and things like that, there are options. There are lots of different flavored popcorns. There are chips that have no gluten whatsoever. My daughter loves these gluten-free pretzels. They are absolutely delicious. So, what
And
happened, sweetheart?
baking issues is one of the biggest things, and bread. I mean, that bread actually, if you feel that bread, if you hold up that bread, it really feels like a regular piece of white bread. And,
wanna take a
and,
bite?
and again, it actually tastes really good. Doesn't that feel normal? Doesn't that feel like bread? I think it feels just like regular bread.
Listen,
but
sweetie
the
pie,
point is
try one of
that
these.
we can also bake these things themselves. They're different flours. Like that's a quinoa flour over there. This is actually to be able to use flours and
Brownies.
mix for brownies, for cookies, for pizza
Brownies.
dough. There's all different types of options for
There
people
is
out there.
for chicken. There's
That's-
a bread covering for chicken that's
Breadcrumbs
fantastic.
that really are made out of gluten-free
I
breadcrumbs.
love these rice chips.
Oh, you have the popcorn,
The
and that's
popcorn's
very good, of
excellent,
course.
and it is. Kids don't need to have cookies. Kids don't need to have sweets all the time. Popcorn, you can make your own flavored popcorn. You can shake cinnamon and sugar inside a bag. You can buy it flavored, but
You can do whatever you want.
You can do whatever
And the
you
point
wish
of this
you
is that we
want.
did this, we just went to the store and got this. So again, we want to hear more from you. We want to hear tweets on questions, suggestions, and also recipes that we can bring here on the show. I want to thank everybody at home for joining us. Don't forget to tune in next time when we share another story. And until then, I want to let you know that, again, there's always hope. Never give up. And we will see you next time on the Dr. Rob Show. Thank you.
Thanks, Emil.